Chloe.
Hi, Wren. Isn't this a beautiful day?
It is. I'm so glad you can join me for this filming, because one of the things I wanted to do, and you can help me, is I wanted to introduce our visitors to a few trees that they can identify in the winter by the bark alone.
Oh, that sounds so wonderful.
And I think you know this one.
Oh, is this a hackberry?
It is. Absolutely. Ding, ding, ding. Got it. And how did you recognize the hackberry?
It has this wonderfully warty bark. It's just very distinctive, like little pimples or warts all up.
That's right. And one of the interesting things about the hackberry is that some of them will have lots of little warts, and some will have just a few. In fact, I can show you some others over here.
Okay, yeah,
Shall we go look?
see.
Okay. So here's another
Hackberry.
Exactly, and it looks similar to the other one. It's got almost as many warts. But when they get bigger, when these trees get bigger, sometimes they look a little different than a younger hackberry. This would be a young hackberry tree, I would guess. Should we take a look at a bigger one?
Yeah, do we have one nearby?
Yes, we do, as a matter of fact. It's right here.
Perfect.
So, believe it or not, this is a hackberry tree as well.
Oh my goodness.
And some of the little warts have turned into little lines and ridges and so forth, but it's a hackberry tree as well.
How very neat. I never would have thought.
So once you recognize one hackberry, you can recognize most hackberries.
Yeah.
All right. Should we go look at some other trees?
I'd love to.
Okay. This one is a twofer. This one gives us two clues.
Oh.
You look up, you see the branches there, but you would know this tree even without looking up. My bet is you know exactly what this tree is by its bark.
I'm thinking this is an eastern red cedar, Wren.
Ding, ding, exactly. This is an eastern red cedar. And one of the things about an eastern red cedar that I find fascinating, you can easily identify, is that bark is really shreddable.
Mm-hmm.
And who do you think uses that for their nest?
Probably squirrels and birds, huh?
Squirrels and birds. Makes great nesting material for a lot of birds and some squirrels. Mm-hmm. And if you're ever lost in the woods, you can use it as some tinder for catching a spark.
Oh, that's good to know.
It's good to know. So anyway, I could say a lot more about this, but I won't for now. And there's something else going on here.
Oh, yes, I would love to point out this rectangular hole right here, this little cavity. This looks like a pileated woodpecker has been tapping away, trying to find food in this little rectangular hole.
Pretty cool.
A large rectangular hole.
Yeah, they always make that rectangle like that, don't they? Very cool. Well, thank you, Chloe. Let's go look at some others. All right. So, Chloe, this tree is not as common as the others we've looked at, but it's still worth noting because it's got such distinctive bark. It's sometimes called American hornbeam. And the names, it has a couple of other names that I like too, musclewood and ironwood.
Those are interesting names.
Aren't those interesting names? Can you see why it might be called musclewood?
It looks almost muscly, like it's got the sinews right in here. So almost like a muscly arm or muscly leg.
Yeah, fits, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And ironwood is because it has such hard wood. If you hit it with an axe, it goes boing. I'm not sure, but it's hard. All right. All right, should we go on? Very cool. I bet you know this tree too.
Yes, this is one of my favorites, the shadbark hickory.
And it's a good name for it, isn't it? We definitely describe that bark as shaggy, right?
I would say so.
Yeah. And this is kind of a younger tree. I mean, they get to be much bigger than this, but I love the way the bark hangs. And, you know, it's a good little hiding place for bats during a storm or something like that. Moths can hide under it, but the moth does not want to hide under the same piece of bark that a bat's under, right?
No.
Yeah. So they're just cool trees. And of course, the nuts provide massive amount of food for creatures great and small. But we'll talk about that. That's a story for another time, right? Oh, this is one magnificent tree, isn't it?
Oh, it's absolutely beautiful.
You know what kind of tree this one is?
Is this a tulip poplar?
Yes, this is a tulip tree or tulip poplar. And it's just I think it's one of the most beautiful, straight hardwood trees that we have. Mm-hmm. And of course, there's many of them at Bernheim. This is actually kind of young. This is not they grow very fast. But I think they have very distinctive bark that kind of looks like a river's. Look at all the rivers.
Yeah, I agree. And they also kind of remind me of elephant's feet if you look down at the bottom there where the roots
that's
are.
absolutely right. They do kind of look like elephant's feet. I had never noticed that before. And, you know, tulip poplars can be a little confusing because some people call them tulip trees, some people call them tulip poplars. And you probably know this, that they're not really a poplar, but remember the magnolia family of all things.
Isn't that wild?
It is, but there's a lot to say about this tree, but today we're mostly focusing on the bark. So,
Yeah.
But I want to show you a young tulip
Okay,
poplar.
yeah, let's go.
Oh, this is a young tulip poplar.
It's beautiful also.
Yeah, and notice how different the bark looks on the young tree than the old one, the bigger ones. This one, to me, looks like it's raindrops that have splattered on it and sliding down.
Oh, that's a beautiful way of thinking about that.
But, yeah, nice tree. So you go meet some more?
Absolutely.